Summer's arrived on the southern Turkish coast, just in time for Stage 2 of World Archery's World Cup Tour. Welcome to Antalya's Konyaaltı Beach on the rugged shores of the Mediterranean, where the wind can play tricks on archers and arrows. So there has to be total focus and concentration on those gold rings 70 meters away. Those who made it to a medal match want more than just a few snapshots to take back home. This is no day at the beach. There's still work to be done at Stage 2 of World Archery's World Cup Tour. Korea came into the gold medal match riding a wave of momentum after a strong week of shooting that included victories over India in the quarterfinals and Denmark in the semifinals. Newcomers Sol Dae-young and Kim Yoon-hee clearly excited about the chance to join Choi Bo-min on the big stage at Stage 2 in Antalya. Korea came out of the ranking rounds as the #1 seed, but the women from Colombia were right behind them. Maya Marcen, Sarah Lopez, and Alejandra Usquiano ranked #2 after topping Turkey, fighting off France, and rolling by the Russian Federation. After trailing by 1 at the midway point of this match, Colombia came storming back to take a 3-point lead after a strong showing in the third end. After a 4-point swing, we'll pick up the action with Kim Yoon-hee planting this shot in the 10 ring. That paves the way for her 19-year-old colleague. Competing in her first international event, Sol Dae-young places her shot in the center circle. But surprisingly, the veteran Choi Bo-min leaves her arrow wide left in the 8 ring. Colombia can smell blood, and the South American sharpshooters start to close in for the kill. Maya Marcen just about dead center, and the sensational Sarah Lopez makes it 2 in a row. X marking the spot for Alejandra Usquiano, who is spot on with her shot. Add 2 more points to Colombia's lead with just 3 arrows to go in the match. Korea's as competitive as any country, and Kim Yoon-hee does her best to put up some resistance. Sol Dae-young does her best to keep Korea in contention with another 9, and Choi Bo-min makes it 3 solid shots in a row. 3 straight 9s for Korea. But truth be told, it would have taken 10s across the board to apply some pressure on a Colombian team that had points to play with. Thanks to Colombia's 5-point cushion, an 8 from Maya Marcen wasn't much cause for concern, especially with Lopez and Usquiano waiting in the wings to finish this off. Sarah's solid 9, followed by Alejandra's 10, wraps it up for Colombia. Once again, this talented trio tastes victory in Antalya, Turkey, where it all seemed to begin for Colombia 2 years ago when Sarah Lopez won the individual gold medal after joining ranks with Maya and Alejandra to win the women's team gold medal on the very same day. Korea's coming on strong in compound, but Colombia pulls away to win by 5. We expected a tough match with Korea because we know they're a good team. We didn't care about what they were doing. We just focused on our shooting and doing our job. It was only afterwards we asked how the match had actually played out.
Hi, I'm Duncan Busby, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a D-loop. First, you need to take your D-loop material and cut it to the correct length. I usually find starting around 8 centimeters will be about right. Next, what you need to do is burn the ends of the D-loop down. This is what compounders call a mushroom. Start by fluffing up the end of the loop. This is going to mean that when it burns, it forms a ball. And these will stop the loop from slipping through when you draw back. Now, you need to tie the loop to your string. First thing I do is take a knock, put it on the string where I'd normally knock my arrow. I know that I'm not going to be pinching the knock and causing problems for my arrow flight. Next, I take the D-loop and I'll start at the top of the knock. I place the end of the D-loop around the back of the string. Then I wrap it round the front, come inside towards the knock, round the back of the loop, back around the front of the string, and then finally I push the little mushroom through the loop I've made and pull the end of the loop until it sits snugly against the loop there. For the bottom part, and once again, finally, what you need to do is remove the knock, take your D-loop pliers, place them between the string and the D-loop, and then pull them to tighten the loop. So that is how to make a D-loop.
One of the marquee matchups at Stage 2 pit two teams that have developed a friendly rivalry over the last 3 years. It would be no day at the beach for the American men, who nailed Australia by 9, beaten the Dutch by 1, and slipped past the Koreans by 2. But the Great Danes, Martin Damsbo, Patrick Larsson, and Stefan Hansen had gotten the best of the USA on more than one occasion these past few seasons, adding fuel to a fire that would flare up again in Antalya. After 3 ends, Steve Anderson, Bridger Deaton, and Rio Wild found themselves in a battle royale, locked in a tie with Denmark at 174 all. The 6'7" Anderson, a basketball player turned archer, lights up the scoreboard to start the 4th end. Bridger Deaton knocks another one down and sets the table for Rio Wild, who dines on 9s, turning up the heat on the men from Denmark. Big Patrick Larsson knows how to score in Turkey, winning a gold medal here back in 2013. Larsson posting a 9 with his shot. Then it's the teenager's turn. 19-year-old Stefan Hansen goes one better, leaving it up to Martin Damsbo to even things up again. Damsbo does not blink. He gets the job done, and the match is still even at 203. Back to target 1 and Steve Anderson, who is right on target. Could Deaton do the same? Not this time. Deaton drops it in the 9 ring, so the onus is upon Bridger's buddy Rio Wild. The Honey Badger bangs it home. The Wild Man back in the center circle, the Americans back in business. Can Denmark handle the pressure? Larsson launches a liner. There's some doubt for the Danes about the outcome, especially after Stefan Hansen clearly parks the point of his arrow in the dreaded 9 ring. Damsbo does what comes naturally to keep Denmark's hopes alive, but now the fate of his team rests in the hands of the honorable judge presiding over this match, who'll have to decide if Larsson's shot is in or out of the 10 ring. After a few agonizing moments of close scrutiny, the verdict is in, the judge awarding a 1-point victory to the red, white, and blue. The Americans fell behind early in the first 2 ends, got a break with Hansen's 8 in the 3rd end, and caught a break in the 4th end, with Denmark dialing up a pair of 9s. The Danes' hopes of winning back-to-back team gold medals in Shanghai and Antalya dashed on the rocks off Konialti Beach. But rest assured, this will only add fuel to the fire if they meet again at the World Championships.
We still haven't even decided our team for Copenhagen, but I mean, whatever team we end up taking there is going to be really strong, and hopefully look forward to shooting in the gold medal match there, be it against Denmark or anybody else. So hopefully that tournament's going to go well, just as well as it did here for as far as the team stuff goes. So.
Before this outdoor season began, few outside of Mexico were familiar with the name Stephanie Salinas. But then she showed up on the radar screen in Shanghai by winning the bronze medal at Stage 1. And lo and behold, here she was again, back in the bronze medal match at Stage 2. In China, she fought off Malaysia's Fatin Nurfateha Mahtala. This time, she would take on Italy's Laura Longo, a finalist of the World Cup Championships in Istanbul, and a well-regarded athlete who'd been ranked as high as 4th in the world back in 2012. But as we join the action, Longo's having a tough go of it, down by 4 after 3. Down, but not out. Longo drills the first shot of the 4th end dead center. Salinas quickly steps up and matches that score. She's still up by 4. Laura's got a good rhythm going now, back-to-back 10s for Italy's only hope at a medal in Turkey. Salinas won't give an inch. Another Mexican missile lands in the 10 ring. Stephanie's still up by 4 as Longo finally falters just a bit, as she can only manage 9 points with her final shot of the 4th end. But no harm's done because Salinas can't take advantage of the opportunity to build her lead up to 5. She's still up by 4, heading to the 5th and final end. It's a massive lead, and her opponent from Italy will have to scale the Taurus Mountains to climb back into this match. Longo, though, makes a misstep with her first stab at a comeback. It's a mistake Salinas is not inclined to make. She bumps that lead up to 5. Laura Longo seems to sense she's up against a hill too big to climb. Salinas softens the blow a bit, painting the line on the 9. So, barring a major breakdown by the Mexican, Longo's hopes of medaling appear to be long gone.
Finishing with a 9.
Bellissimo gruppo lì.
Stephanie Salinas closes it out with another rocket right down the middle. A fitting finish to a dominant performance by a young woman who's now emerged as a major factor in women's compound. Stephanie Salinas of Mexico makes it back-to-back bronze medals at the first 2 stages of the 2015 World Cup season and picks up enough points to virtually assure herself a spot at the World Cup finals in Mexico City come October. It's a commanding 5-point win, 141 to 136. While few had heard of Stephanie Salinas before Stage 1, Andrea Marcos of Spain was even more anonymous, emerging from World Archery's Witness Protection Program to land a spot in the gold medal finals at Stage 2. She would face Russia's Maria Vinogradova, slightly better known after winning a team bronze medal at the season opener in Shanghai. The 21-year-old Russian figured to have an advantage, having shot on the beach just hours before en route to another team bronze medal. And indeed, Vinogradova did have a 1-point lead after the first 9 shots. Admittedly nervous about the first World Cup appearance of her career, the 26-year-old Spaniard puts her best foot forward to start the 4th end. Meanwhile, Maria stumbles getting out of the gate with an 8 on her first attempt. And just like that, Marcos has a 1-point lead. The jitter's gone. Marcos makes another solid shot. But this match is far from over. Vinogradova fights back and ties it up with a 10. We're all even at 101, but for how long? Marcos makes another clutch shot to apply more pressure on Maria, who cannot keep pace. Then 9 leaves her 1 shot off the lead. Held by the unranked, unknown 26-year-old Spaniard competing in her very first World Cup event. Down by 1, the young Russian shoots first and shoots well. Vinogradova still very much in contention for the gold. Does Marcos flinch? Not one bit, matching Maria's shot to maintain a 1-point edge. Time seems to have run out on Maria when she offers up another 9, but Marcos cannot increase the lead. She's still on top by 1 with 1 to shoot. All Vinogradova can do is tack on another 10 and hope for the best. And her hopes are answered. Marcos had the chance to close out the match, but that 9 leaves these two archers tied at 139, forcing a shoot-off to decide this gold medal. The emotions running high for both young women as they gather themselves for the one chance they'll get to break the tie. Vinogradova shoots first, usually an advantage, and she sticks it on the line. Not a bad shot, but a shot that leaves the door open for Andrea Marcos, who just needs to be closer to the center. Remember, she's unranked, unheralded, and competing in her first World Cup. None of that mattered. Andrea Marcos comes out of nowhere and comes through with a pressure-packed shot she will long remember. A shot that was closer to the center, a shot that will be close to her heart for the rest of her life. Andrea who, you say? Well, just ask Choi Bo-min, Toya Chernay, Stephanie Salinas, and Maria Vinogradova that question. They now know exactly who she is after falling victim to an understandably emotional Ms. Marcos at stage 2 in Antalya. I was very nervous. This is my first outdoor Archery World Cup. The day before, I did not have to compete, so I had a lot of time for the tension to build up. Today, though, everything went very, very fast. After stage 1, Sarah Lopez left Shanghai on top of the standings, 25 points. Stephanie Salinas very much in the picture, just 7 back in 3rd place. Now, after winning another bronze at stage 2, the surprising Miss Salinas has moved into the top spot.
London 2012, I was a volunteer. I worked specifically at Lords for the archery, and I looked after the main match play targets, setting out the fields for the international athletes at Shanghai Games. I started compound archery about 2 years ago from being a recurve for about 22 years, and currently it's going really well. Hi Charlie. This is my first international competition, and I've experienced all of it. I've loved every minute of it. Today was awesome. Today was good shooting. I was very happy. My second match today was against PJ Delush. He schooled me with a 149 to my 145. It was a tough match, but I held my own. I was more than happy.
The men's bronze medal match shaped up as an all-American affair. Another marquee matchup between two heavyweights. Bridger Deaton bursting onto the scene last year, winning 3 medals in Shanghai and beating Rio Wild twice, the second time en route to a gold medal at the World Cup finals in Lausanne. The Honey Badger, just as fierce as ever, coming back this season with a new release that allowed him to put 12 shots into the X-ring en route to a new record during the ranking rounds at stage 1. After dropping a pair of matches to Deaton, the Wild Man would be looking for payback on Konialty Beach, but trailed by 1 heading to the 4th end. And would trail by 2 after leaving the path and straying into the 9 ring. Bridger? Brilliant through his first 9 shots, all striking gold. And he continues running the table with another 10. Rio readjusts and puts his next shot in the center circle. No let-up by Bridger, who's tearing up the center of his target. Aside from 2 shots that went astray, the same could be said for Rio, who's right back on track with back-to-back 10s. Meanwhile, the Deaton Express keeps on rolling. The judges will change that 9 to a 10, and Bridger will still lead the Badger by 2 with 3 shots to go. A lot of ground to make up for the world champion in 2009 and the World Cup gold medalist in 2006, but it's the experience gained over the past 12 years that told Rio to hang in there and keep drilling more darts down the middle. Inexplicably, the Deaton Express goes off the tracks. On Bridger's first shot of the 5th end, the lead's down to 1. Things are about to get a little wild. Rio, 10 again.
Right there, right on. Cover the spider. Good shot.
Bridger holding the honey badger at bay as he bounces back with a 10 of his own. Thing about badgers, though, they don't quit fighting. Rio takes another big swing and sends it home. At worst, he'll lose by 1, but at best, he's in a shoot-off. Bridger Deaton obliges with an out-of-the-blue 9 that leaves him shaking his head and having to work overtime in Antalya. A pair of near misses by both master craftsmen leaves the score tied at 148 all, setting the stage for a 1-arrow closest to the center shoot-off. Going first is thought to be an advantage, but Rio Wild dispels that notion when that one got away. Rio resigned to his fate. Surely the 20-year-old Deaton would do what had to be done. Not so fast, my friends. Stop the presses. Deaton sees red, and Rio, well, he can't believe what he saw. Talk about breaking bad. One man's misfortune turns into another man's good fortune. It's a shocking finish that has both great competitors shaking their heads. But those are the breaks of this crazy game. Rio Wild accepting this gift from the gods. Kim Jong-ho had a tough act to follow after that heart-stopping bronze medal shootout. But this 20-year-old Korean would prove to be more than up to the challenge, which was easy to see coming off his performance during Korea's victory in the men's team bronze medal match earlier the same day. On paper, he appeared to be the underdog against the reigning world champion, Magic Mike Schlosser from the Netherlands. After all, this Dutchman set a new world indoor record last winter and had just won the silver medal at Stage 1 in Shanghai. The thing is, what's on paper doesn't get you any points, and points were tough to come by for Schlosser early in the match. After opening with a 27 in the first end, he trailed by 4 with only 6 shots to go. Mike finally got going, putting 10 on the board with his first arrow in the 4th end. Mr. Kim remained consistent as he'd been throughout the first 3 ends. Schlosser, not giving up any hope. He drives another one right down Main Street. But nothing seems to rattle Kim Jong-ho. Like Kia's coming off the assembly line, he keeps churning out more 10s. Mike's trying to make a move. He's finally in the groove, shooting the way we expect Mike Schlosser to shoot. Trouble is, Kim's not cooperating. He's holding Mike off at arm's length, keeping control of the match and setting himself up for a golden moment. The lead still stands at 4 with 3 more shots to go. Mike Schlosser soldiers on, keeping hope alive as he opens the 5th end, keeping just a bit of pressure on Mr. Kim. And Mr. Kim finally cracks. Just a little, but enough to make things interesting. He's up by 3 with 2 to shoot. No let-up from the Dutchman. Schlosser spears another 10, which looms larger after another 9 by Kim Jong-ho. Now it's a 2-point lead with 1 to go. Mike, cool, calm, collected, and living up to the moniker of Mr. Perfect. But is this too little too late? He's hoping to get to a shoot-off, but Mr. Kim has other plans. Kim Jong-ho comes through in the clutch. This time, 9 is enough to secure the victory, a gold medal for Korea, and an impressive bear hug from an incredibly strong coach. Give Mike Schlosser credit for fighting back and making a late run at the gold, but give Kim Jong-ho even more credit for pulling off the upset. On paper, he was the underdog, but paper doesn't count. Only the score does, and the young Korean put up 1 more point than Mike Schlosser, which is all that counts. How about 1 more hug? And oh, by the way, 1 more picture. Kim Jong-ho, 145, silver Mike Schlosser, 144. I am really happy to win the gold medal in Antalya. It's the 2nd time that a Korean compound archer has won here in Turkey. I'm going to practice harder now, and I hope that I can put on a much better show at the World Championships in Copenhagen. When the Tour left China, Sebastian Peinot had an early lead in the standings, winning a shoot-off to pick up 25 points. But the Frenchman didn't fare as well in Turkey. He now trails Mike Schlosser and Rio Wild, while Kim Jong-ho is hot on his trail. As we head for Copenhagen and then on to Poland for Stage 3 of the World Cup Tour. Follow all the action on Archery TV.
Wow.